Chapter 8, Mishnah 1. The Mishnah considers whether a wall made in the middle of an earthenware kli legally makes it into two separate Keilim. An earthenware oven was partitioned with boards or with curtains. A person divided an oven into two sections by making a wall of wood or of fireproof curtains across the middle of the oven, from the very top of the oven down to the bottom. The law is as follows. If a dead sheretz is found in one place, i.e. in one of the sections, all the food inside the oven is tame, even if the food is in the other section. The partition does not legally make the oven into two separate ovens. It is still considered like one large earthenware kli, as if there was no partition inside of it. Another case in which the concept of partition does not apply to an earthenware kli. A woven basket had a large hole that was stuffed and plugged with straw, and the basket was hanging into the airspace of an oven. The law is as follows. If a sheretz is in the basket, then the oven is tame from the sheretz that is in its airspace, even though the sheretz is enclosed by the walls of the basket. And similarly, if a sheretz is in the oven, then foods that are inside the basket are tame. The oven becomes tame from the sheretz, and the foods in the basket become tame from the tame oven because they are in its airspace, even though they are enclosed by the walls of the basket. Another Tana disagrees in the case of the broken basket. But Rabbi Eliezer rules that it is tahor whether the sheretz is in the broken basket and the foods are in the oven, or whether the sheretz is in the oven and the foods are in the broken basket. Rabbi Eliezer holds that the walls of the broken basket shield its insides from the airspace of the oven. Therefore, sheretz or foods inside the basket are not considered to be in the airspace of the oven. If the sheretz is in the basket, the oven remains tahor. And if the oven is tame and foods are in the basket, they remain tahor. Rabbi Eliezer brings a proof to his ruling. Rabbi Eliezer says, the following kal v'chomer will show that it is tahor. If a broken basket shields what is inside of it from tuma, in the more severe case of corpse tuma, should it not certainly shield what is inside of it from tuma in the more lenient case of an earthenware vessel? The sages reject Rabbi Eliezer's proof. They said to him, your kal v'chomer is not valid. If a broken basket, shields what is inside of it from tuma in the more severe case of corpse tuma, that is because tents can legally be divided into rooms. Does that mean that it must also shield it in the more lenient case of an earthenware vessel, where the law is that an earthenware vessel cannot legally be divided into separate compartments, as we learned in the beginning of this Mishnah? Certainly not.